Okay. Wait, hold on. Does it say interview on my end? Hold on. It should say it. No, like, sorry, yesterday, like, there was a power outage that happened, so,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, yeah, that messes everything up.
Yeah.
Like I was at a radio station getting struck by lightning. We never knew what would happen.
Hi, Speedy
The lightning
Green!
could do nothing to it. It could take it all out, or just take out one clock in one studio. It was whatever it wanted to do.
Yeah. I just realized I never posted on Twitter yet, so on the automatic area message doesn't get posted on Twitter. So it happens sometimes. The
Oh
calling.
yeah. Well,
Hold on.
what part in the end?
Hey,
Oh,
hey, question. Go ahead, Speedy Green. Um, we're just setting up for we're just setting up right now for the interview process. Okay. You normally would have the starting soon screen, but we don't have the starting soon screen today because we're just diving headfirst into this. Yeah.
a chaotic plunge into the deep end is what it is.
All good, all good. Okay. Interview and but yeah. And then the calling. Did you know about an app called AddieLive? It was similar to Irium. I do remember that. I do remember that. Then what is it? Okay. Let me get everything set it up. Okay. All good.
Hey,
Okay. And then I'm getting the Irium app set it up and the YouTube stuff set it up, and then I should be all good to go.
yep, yep. I'm just gonna go ahead and roll, and you just let me know when we start.
Sounds awesome. I should be done pretty soon. Then we could get this show on the road. Super duper excited. I've been like really busy for planning an event called Your Mages by Command because my birthday is coming up like next month already. So it's been like a lot going on, but it's okay. Like I said, we are on track.
Excellent.
So
Hope that goes really well. Make sure you promote
thank
it all over the place.
you, thank you.
Put it on Discord too if you get a chance.
Yeah, I did already.
Good, good, good.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for. To let everybody promote.
Okay. Then we are good. Okay. And then Blue Sky. Yeah, that's the one.
Lusky.
Yeah. Then let me get this posted. YouTube, and then my Oshi as well, and then my Discord server. Because in addition, I also like post up like my live now message on like Discord, and then YouTube and Twitch as well. Hi, Soul, welcome in. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. I am Cooky Usagida, having two backs of Slack Chaotic, Big Buddy Mage, and I'm working ties in the big VTubers from Hawaii to the world. We are getting everything all ready and all set it up for my interview. So yeah, I think we're on time. So we are on time. You're lagging. My apologies. Hold on.
Hello.
Let me restart my Irium app. Hold on. Okay. Thank you. Let me restart just really quick. We are on time. And then okay. Irium application is all resetted. Okay. Irium should be good. Just gonna do a live now announcement on. Thank you for the hype, by the way. And then, yeah, we we should be pretty much all set for the interview. Okay, right after
Cool.
that one.
Good.
And this one here. Okay, everything's by Oshi check, YouTube check, and then Blue Sky check, and then Twitter check. Um, yeah, Twitter is already is a okay. And then Discord, yep, check. And then we are just getting the YouTube one in there, and we're gonna get this set it up here, and we're ready to go after this. We are ready to record.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it! Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's stream. Yaha! Sorry for the no starting screen today. We are just diving right in today. But today, I am getting interviewed. So we have Eric
Oh,
Loy here, who is joining us today. So feel free to introduce yourself.
hello. I'm Eric Loy from Eric Loy Interviews. I've been interviewing VTubers now since January of 2024. We've been doing a lot of them, and just it's just been so much fun talking with the various different personalities and talents and finding out their reasons for doing this and a little bit more about them. And today I get to grill Cookie.
Yeah! And I'm here with Pop Pun too. Pop Pun! But yeah, feel free to ask me anything.
All right. Well, let's get started. But first, let us know who, to the folks around the world who are listening, who is exactly Cookie? Tell me.
Alright. Yahoo! I'm Hyper Max's least chaotic pink bunny mage, Cooky Usagida! I'm the least chaotic pink bunny mage you'll ever be, bringing VTubers from Hawaii to the world. I have been active in the VTuber industry since July of 2020, and I am going into my 6th year of VTubing in July. I do mecha tactical fighting games, and I also do VTuber events. I'm mostly well known for my VTuber events in Hawaii, which is the thing that I do the most. Just yesterday, I was participating in the Dancing Diamonds concert in Boise, Idaho, in Gem State Comic Con with Corey Ojo. So I was one of the participating VTubers, and I was in the group performance for Rather Be. And then for next month, which I'm planning very soon, I am celebrating my birthday in June. So we're
Hey,
planning something called Your Mages by Command. That is my birthday celebration. Woo!
cool. And so you are one busy person.
Yeah, I try my best. I try my absolute hardest with everything I got.
Well, that's cool. I mean, did you always want to do entertainment type stuff?
Mm, well, when I first started in the entertainment industry, I fell in love with VTubers like Ironbow, Seikyu, and Yanners. In fact, my biggest inspiration was Ironbow. So when back in 2020 at the time, like VTubers like Ironbows were getting very, very popular. And I was watching her streams and I got so inspired by her backstory and everything that she was doing. So, when I first started as a VTuber, I originally got very inspired by Mousy and I fell in love, with the VTuber culture because of her. So she's become a very big inspiration of mine and a big reason why I'm here in the community right now.
It's very hard to find somebody who doesn't have at least a begrudging respect for Iron Mouse. I mean, considering everything that she's been through, and knowing that really she still can't barely get out of her room, and is broadcasting to millions of people over over whatever she's put on, whether it's singing, whether it's just gameplay. She's reached so many people. Um, that is so inspiring. That's one of the reasons why actually I'm doing these interviews, is because I want to learn more stories like that.
Yeah, she is a really big inspiration. She's the reason why I'm in the VTubing scene right now. Because I would watch her shades when she did collabs with like CQV8 and stuff. And CQ was also like another big inspiration, and that's like another reason why I got into the VTuber industry in the first place as well. So yeah,
Were you a theater kid?
I wasn't bad. It's a little bit different. So welcome in, Uncle.
it was you weren't on the stage grabbing the microphone in front of everybody.
Mm, I was like a clarinet player. So I kind of did bad for like a very long time. I was a clarinet player for a long time. And then the longest time actually I also did like art back in the day too. So that's the thing. In fact,
Cool.
that's the name was Cookie's Boutique. I actually started up Cookie's Boutique like way before I became like a VTuber. So like when I joined in the VTuber community originally, it was to promote the Cookie's Boutique brand. And then later I just changed to the Cooky Usagida, and Cooky Usagida has stuck by my name ever since because I'm a huge fan of the BT21 character Cookie, and Cookie just happens to be my favorite character in BT21, so that is the thing too.
I like chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, yeah. That name will always bring good memories.
Yeah, true.
You can't argue with a cookie. You can't. It's not possible. Can't
Yeah.
even say the name without smiling. Um, when you got started with the V2, which service were you on first?
I was on Twitch first, but my story of like how I did VTubing is kind of a long story. So, for instance, I am what's called a regional VTuber or a Gotoji VTuber. So, a regional
Mhm.
VTuber means that they mainly do like marketing towards like a specific region, country, city, or area. So most VTubers tend to market towards like the global ones in the Western Hemisphere, right? But for me, I'm considered a Goto G VTuber or a regional VTuber. But when I entered in the VTubing industry originally, I was a global VTuber. I tried to really attempt to do the global thing, but then unfortunately I failed and I failed pretty big. So I would admit that my first 3 years when I was a global VTuber pretty much like tried to emulate like the global VTuber success like was a massive failure. But I got accepted into a VTuber group in 2023 that since closed down. And after but the VTuber group I was in closed down and disbanded, I was back to being independent again. After I was in another VTuber group for like about a couple weeks or so, and then I left that one too. And after I went independent, I was kind of rethinking like my content strategy at the time. So at the time, I already did like several different event appearances. I was at like Hawaii Con, for example, and Hawaii Geek Bee in the past. And, I realized that when I saw what I was doing at the time, there was barely any resources for VTubers in the Hawaiian Islands. So
Right.
it was either at the time I decided I had to adapt or I had to graduate. So I was almost gonna retire. I was almost gonna graduate, but then when I realized that this wasn't just much VTuber opportunities in Hawaii, I decided, I was just gonna pivot my focus instead to Hawaii-based VTubers.
Well, that's good. I think Hawaii is in such a strange spot for VTubers, and it's definitely because of the time zone. Because your time zone doesn't really match up with a lot of folks. For instance, I'm in the central time zone of the U.S. and you're about I don't know 5 hours behind me,
Hmm.
something along those lines. Um, so if I did my normal time, like usually be like noon is when I do a lot of interviews. My time that would be 7 a.m. for you, and I would not ask anybody to get up that hour.
I see. I
Talk
see.
to the old man.
I'm
Yeah,
actually used to like
and
waking up quite early in the afternoonish and morning because I've done like events like on the US mainland and like around the world where I would have to wake up at like 4 a.m. in the morning, 5 a.m. in the morning just to get on an event. So that's how I'm
yeah,
able to like be able to be there for a lot of the collabs because I would have to wake up like very early in the morning. So
yeah.
yeah.
And then even with that, the folks who are kind of a little bit closer to where you are geographically are like 23 hours ahead of you.
Mm.
You know, New Zealand is not, off all that far off from you straight up and down on the globe. but the date line goes in between you. So that's a huge problem to try and cater to an audience where you have absolutely no idea what their time is.
Yeah, I remember like when I first became a VTuber in the VTuber scene in Hawaii, I was really having a difficult time like catering to the global demographic. Number one, it wasn't just
Mhm.
because of the time zone conflict, but number two, Hawaii's culture is very unique and different from the rest of on the rest of the country. So that was also very difficult too. So when I
Oh,
became a
absolutely.
regional VTuber, it made me realize, this is like my culture that I could talk about when it comes to talking about things. And somehow it really clicked because for a lot of the audiences, especially in the Hawaii, in the mainland and around the world, you know, I do get told sometimes that I am like the destination for Hawaii VTubing or like the catalyst behind like the recent rise of VTubers debuting in Hawaii. And honestly, for me, I don't really like consider that for me as like myself as a catalyst. I more consider myself as, just someone who's just wants to talk about her culture and talks
Yeah.
about like where I'm from and all that. That's pretty much it.
Well, that's wonderful because you've got people now who have come to you, and when you talk about the culture and they ask you about the culture, they're doing this willingly in a format that they are comfortable with. Um, Maybe some folks wouldn't, if they saw like a lecture online, they wouldn't be comfortable asking the questions. But here with you kind of with the way you're presenting as a VTuber, you're automatically more comfortable to the listener, I think, and it'd be easier for them to ask questions and find
Yeah.
out more about.
I think that's why like people would ask me like about Hawaii and what's it like because people really love Hawaii and they want to get fascinated by Hawaii culture, but oftentimes there are a lot of instances where Hawaii is often over romanticized. So,
Mhm.
I do feel like that people nowadays are craving more for authenticity. So that is something
Right.
that I would say is pretty unique about myself.
Yeah, I think that people look at Hawaii and Alaska kind of the same way. I mean, obviously, at different ends of the spectrum as far as s- lifestyle and weather and all that. But people romanticize Alaska too. But you got to also realize it costs $1 billion to live there, and you're not going to be able to just walk down and pick up milk anytime you want. It's all imported, a lot of things, and there are other things involved in that. There's realism too. But as far as taking a visit out there, I think pretty much everybody wants to at least be on the island for a little bit of time.
Mm. Hawaii also has that problem too because the cost of living here in Hawaii is like astronomical. In fact, we're
Yeah,
actually the number one most expensive state in the world. Did you know that? We're number one. We've been number one
I
for a
can
very
imagine
long
that.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't even think of what the property would cost to
Okay.
get a to own a house. Give me Christmas.
Okay. I can give you the estimated price. Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. $1.1 million
I
for
will
a
not reach
house.
that in my entire life.
For a house here in Hawaii. That's like $1 million.
Oh my
You're
goodness. And
HSD?
that's
Yeah,
in a
I'm HSD.
yeah, that's just that's crazy stuff. I mean, I understand it because it's not exactly like you have a whole lot of real estate to sell in Hawaii, but still it's for that and for the native folks who generations on the island, it's got to be really tough sometimes
Mm.
to see overseas folks come in and kind of try to nudge them out of the picture. Have you seen that a lot in Hawaii?
Yeah, there is actually a concept about that in Hawaii. We call that price out of paradise. So price out of paradise basically means that you cannot really afford to live in Hawaii anymore, even though you are working and you're going to school, you have a job, for example, and you're doing pretty much everything right. Like you have a place to live and everything. Even
Mhm.
with everything that you're doing, you still cannot afford the price of Hawaii because it's just too expensive. So as a result, many people have a concept called price out of paradise. So there are two reasons why Hawaii is very expensive. Number one is the Jones Act. That's one of the main reasons why Hawaii is expensive. That basically means
Mhm.
that everything has to be shipped on a U.S. made boat. So you're not
Right.
allowed to be using like the boats that are made internationally. It has to be a U.S. made, U.S. tagged boat. So that's what happens too. And because
Yeah.
of the Jones Act and the geographic isolation, it basically means that it costs us more to like ship items and everything. And number
Right.
two, another reason why is because of the supply and demand. So as the demand basically increases, the supply also increases too. And with that supply and demand, the cost basically goes up to live in Hawaii. So
Yeah.
that is also
Yeah.
the reason too. But geographic isolation, Jones Act, all those factors is the reason why, Hawaii is very expensive. And it's not just like residential wise, business wise, it's also very hard to do business in Hawaii because of the restrictions that come with it. There's a lot of really strict business restrictions that Hawaii residents have to go through. So that's what's also the case too.
Which doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense because where else are you going to land when you're flying a plane across across the Pacific? Hawaii is the destination unless you're going hopping up the Aleutian Islands, which I don't think many people really want to do. Um, Hawaii is that perfect stop off point, and you would think it would be a perfect destination for international trade. But all of that stuff you just mentioned kind of boots that right out the window.
Well, the thing is, we have what's called a melting pot culture at the same time. So Hawaii, in modern times, currently is represented by all different types of cultures from all around the world. So a lot of our foods basically are like a mix of different cultures. So you'll often find like different foods represented at like convenience stores like 7-Eleven or CU Hawaii. For example, you'll see a spam musubi right next to like a mochiko chicken plate, right next to a
Mhm.
pho, right next to a Simon, etc.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, that's good. It's good to have that type of thing. But when the tourists come, everybody wants the luau. That's the one thing you always hear from people who are heading to Hawaii. They want the luau. Um, as with the tourism coming in as it is, has some of these traditional things kind of lost their meanings? People.
I feel like when it comes to like learning about Hawaii culture, I think in my opinion, if people do want to learn about Hawaii, I would recommend
Yeah.
not just coming to Hawaii like for the luau's, but like learning from locals as well. So like for example, interacting with locals, going to like the everyday places where locals go to like Zippies is like the best
Mhm.
way to learn
Yeah.
about Hawaii, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking that with people coming in and wanting to, take part in what little they know of the Hawaiian culture, um, kind of ends up in some of that being commercialized, like it has with the some of the native population inside the 48 here.
Yeah, that has become like over romanticized and commercialized in some way.
Hmm. Yeah. It's I hope that that changes and people get back to the realism a little bit and finding out really more about because the Hawaii's history is pretty amazing. It's um, it wasn't like Hawaii needed help when people landed on the island. It was doing pretty good. It and the story of how Hawaii came to be a part of the United States is pretty amazing too. Um, and I hope that people get them. How many VTubers do you think are active right now in Hawaii?
In Hawaii right now, I would say like between like 20 to 30 VTubers that are active in Hawaii, and about
Mhm.
like some VTubers that either have Hawaii ties, were born and raised in Hawaii, or were former Hawaii residents. So I would believe between like 20 to 30, but the numbers are growing in more recent years. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't say that it's because of me that's been as some of my friends were saying that I've been over promoting Hawaii in some sort of sense. It's because I think that everyone is like coming together to like provide opportunities for VTubers in Hawaii.
Mhm.
I know like I get credited quite a lot for like being like the pioneer for Gotochi VTubers in the Western Hemisphere. But
Mhm.
I do feel like that it's a mixture of it's a mixture of everybody's hard work and all that too.
Well, absolutely, and it has a lot to do with your audience too, and the chat out there, and all. I say hello to the world service of Cookie. The the they have to be involved too, and they'll come back for the personality of the person doing the entertainment. They wouldn't come back to you if they didn't like you,
Mm.
and that plays big into it as well. You're in the situation that you're in right now is, I would imagine, very organically grown, where people come in and kind of naturally do it. You haven't really had to, you know, do a lot of collaboration with everybody around the universe to do what you've been able to do.
Well, what I have been doing instead is called event organization. So in 2024, I started an organization called High VTuber Expo, which is a Hawaii-based event organization aimed at bringing VTubers to the Hawaii market. And what we found
Mhm.
so far, based on these VTuber organizations over the past couple years, is that there is a huge demand for VTubers who want to market to a Hawaii demographic. However, the thing about these businesses that want to market themselves to the Hawaii demographic, well, number one is definitely the supply and demand, and number two is the business restrictions. So
Yeah.
catering to a Hawaii audience, a Hawaii demographic, and also, figuring out like the taste and the cultures of everyday Hawaii locals, can be sometimes of a challenge too. But I believe
Oh
that,
yeah.
with, these VTubers 101 panels, with Twitch Hawaii and Vitoku all coming together. Even Hype Chiba Expo. Here at Hype Chiba Expo, all doing their
Yeah.
part. It's really helping to bring the VTubers not just to Hawaii, but to all Pacific Islands as well.
Mm. Dude, you're talking marketing. VTubers don't want to talk about marketing. I bring that up and VTubers run away. It's exactly what you're doing here. You're marketing people. You're bridging that gap between people and the Hawaiian culture, and being able to get into that Hawaiian market. It's not an easy thing to do, especially for people who are uneducated about the Hawaiian culture, the modern Hawaiian culture, I should say.
Well, as I do say, High VTuber Expo's mission, bringing VTubers from Hawaii to the world, I do the best that I can to try to bridge the gap between Hawaii's unique culture and the VTuber world. So,
Mhm.
in my mission, I always say this: bringing VTubers from Hawaii to the world, and I try to abide by that in
Yep.
everything that I do.
That
Whether
is.
it's a live stream, whether it's an event, whether it's a video, everything relates to bringing VTubers from Hawaii to the world. Everything.
Yep. Yep. So, folks out there who are in the money thing, get a hold of Cookie. Um, they'll get you involved in this stuff. Give you some ideas as to how to get there. It's not an easy thing to do, to take on your own. Have you ever done any um, marketing in your background?
I used to be like a business owner back in the day. Actually, Mama Osagida, fun fact, she was like a entrepreneur back in the day as
Mm.
well. She's
Ah,
she's someone that I deeply respect too because she used to be an entrepreneur in the event business back in the day. So I would learn a lot from Mama Sagida and learning a lot from her, like her time basically running everything. So my mom and I, we used to like run like a clothing brand back in the day. And then later on, it was Cookie's Boutique, and then now Cooky Usagida, and now High Chiba Expos. So that's what it is too.
I thought I heard a background in there somewhere. They
Yeah,
present Hawaiian culture, so you don't want to screw up.
yeah, that is true.
Mhm. Yeah, and especially when when there's no safety net on any of your
That's the
platforms.
thing
Now,
too,
recorded, I mean, I
because
could do it.
when it comes to like being a regional VTuber, everything is like a risk. We call it like a high risk, high reward. So normally when
Right.
VTubers usually debut, they usually try to go global because that one has like the biggest safety nets. But when a VTuber
Mm.
basically goes regional or does something like that's pretty unusual, or as we call it, like a devious something devious, for example, like in the VTuber industry or something different, that
Right.
is usually something that's high risk, high reward with a very limited safety net.
Oh yeah. Well, we had that in radio. I was in radio for 35 years, and um, in a medium and small market. But the it's a difference in that type of market as opposed to a big city or nationwide as far as what you're able to do. And I think you nailed it on right on the head with what you're talking about. You can, you might be able to get away with something with a wider, shallower net. But if you're trying to, if your audience is a certain pie demographic, you're not going to be able to fly too well off the handle because everybody's going to know you.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's tough to get around when you screw up in public.
that is true. It's a high risk and high reward thing too. So
Yes.
I like to say, even though I am considered a gotoji or regional VTuber, my audience is very global. I'm a very
Yeah.
global audience, but I am regional in terms of like my marketing and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's still too much fun to be talking with somebody upside down from you on the other side of the planet. That's just that's just too good. And when you started having those folks that were way far away from you coming back to your streams, how did that how did that influence you into what you did?
I feel like whenever people come back to my streams, I have people from all around the world. That it's not just Hawaii. I have
Right.
people from Philippines, Malaysia, United Kingdom. I even have like people coming in from other Pacific islands too that would watch my streams and they're like fascinated about this is what Hawaii VTubers look like, or this is what the Hawaii VTubing scene looks like. I even have VTubers coming in from Latin America, like Mexico or Brazil, for example, that are very
Yep.
fascinated with how the Hawaii VTubing industry works because people do want to see VTubers in Hawaii. They want to be able to cater to the Hawaii demographic. However, you know, it is very difficult to market to the Hawaii demographic because not just of supply and demand, but because of the strict business regulations. So
Right.
usually
Right.
when they see like what High VTuber Expo is doing, they're like, "Oh wow, I want to be part of it." So I feel like in a lot of ways, more than one, we have spread the Hawaii culture, and it's been very fun to be able to talk about Hawaii and open up about myself. So I learned a little
Yeah.
bit more about myself, and I basically help others in return too.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely excellent. I get to talk to folks from the Philippines has a very big VTuber scene.
They
And
do.
Australia and Malaysia, all of them have that sort of thing. And would you mention um, South America? I've interviewed folks from Chile and um, Argentina and Brazil. There's a lot of folks down there. Maybe one from Peru, I believe. Um, but it's really it's really amazing that the folks who are from these regions really do want to talk about what things are really like in their countries and
Yeah.
be that representative from the countries. It's heartening to hear that. Um, somebody who is proud of their country and what they've done, and giving out the good stuff about what it's all about. Not tarnishing the bad stuff, but telling us what it's all about.
Yeah. It actually makes me really happy that people are opening up about their cultures and they're teaching people about like what's it like over there. Because I do
Mhm.
believe that the most amazing thing about VTubing is not just like the limitless opportunities that you can do, but it's also all about the one biggest thing is that VTubing is global. It's a global thing, and you don't need to be in like a specific region to be able to be a VTuber. It's open to an entire different culture. So that's what it is too. For example,
And
since being part of High VTuber Expo, I participated in many different VTuber conventions across the mainland US, across Hawaii. In fact, just yesterday we were at Gem State Comic Con in Boise, Idaho, and then
yeah,
I actually recently found out that I'm gonna be virtually going to MobileCon in Atlanta, so that's gonna be exciting as
wow,
well.
yeah, that's a lot of fun. I'm just so glad that people are able to communicate that way because it's doing two things for a lot of folks. It's making the world smaller but bigger at the same time because it's easier to talk to somebody on the other side of the planet, but having that reach automatically makes their personal world bigger.
Yeah, and I connect with a lot of people who are also from Hawaii too. Like many people who had to move away from Hawaii to the mainland or to another country because the cost of living is just too high. So I have like VTuber friends who are getting back in touch with their roots because of the Hawaii VTuber scene and the stuff that I did. So I have a lot of VTuber friends who have family that were from Hawaii or they were born and raised in Hawaii themselves, but because they were priced out of paradise, they had to move out. So
Right?
in a lot more ways than one, you know, it's helping them reconnect back to their roots while still living on another side of the planet. So I feel like
Yeah.
that VTubing really does an amazing job of helping us to discover our roots and who we are.
Yeah, there used to be radio broadcasts that kind of did that, where shortwave radio, which isn't as certainly isn't as popular now as it used to be as far as broadcasting is concerned. But people, you would have um, broadcasts from a certain area of the world for those who have moved overseas. They get local uh, flavor, they'd get local news and what was going on in their native area, and that's how people would get information now. But now with the internet age, um, you as a VTuber and other VTubers who are doing this are bridging that gap between what you see on the, you know, satellites and what they're kind of programmed to tell you to see, and the the actual what's happening on the ground. You kind of their eyes and ears in the situation.
I feel like that in a lot of ways, Hawaii still has a long way to go before we can, truly bridge the V2B gap from Hawaii to the world. I do feel like that, while it is true that people do look up to be as a pioneer of some sorts in the Gotoji V2B scene, I feel like we still have a long way to go and bridging those VTuber gaps too.
There's still so much innovation to happen that in 5 years it's not going to look the same as it is now. I don't think people are still finding ways to do it. Well, look at what Irium has done here with coming to the United States. Now it's growing faster than two overexcited rabbits. I mean, it's I at one point I was trying to get everybody on Irium to as an interview, and now there's so many of them. There's no possible way. Um, and coming to the United States, they've found their area. Um, it's to see it multiply like that and see that more people get drawn into it is I imagine very heartening to someone who enjoys it as much as you've been able to.
Yeah, I actually originally started as a Twitch and YouTube streamer before I got accepted to Irium. So I still stream on Twitch and YouTube nowadays as well. But what I'm doing now is called multi streaming, which basically means that I'm streaming on three different platforms at one time. So I would multi
Yeah,
stream on Irium, and then I would also use Restream to be able to multi stream on Twitch and YouTube side, to expand my
yeah,
audience and all that, because I do believe that different audiences have different things and different audiences prefer different platforms. So for example,
right.
while one person prefers like YouTube, and I learned this quite a lot, that in order to be able to grow as a VTuber, restreaming really does help a lot with like growing yourself into a different audience, because different
Mhm.
audiences prefer like different platforms. Not everybody prefers to go on Twitch, or not everybody prefers to go on YouTube. So I always try to make
Yeah,
sure that my streams are accessible to everybody as much as possible on all different platforms and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, think of it as kind of like you're digging for oil, and you've got three different places you can dig, and one place you didn't dig suddenly has a lot of oil. Well, nobody dug there, so they didn't find the audience. That's the oil is your audience, and you have to go where the audience is, or in this case, the oil, in order to get to it. And if that means doing it on three different platforms, then you just have that much more to find. Um, that's pretty basic marketing there, and whatever type of broadcasting you're doing, whether it's as a VTuber or a poor radio guy, you you have to do it that way, and that's it's using your smarts there. That's what that is. Um,
Mm,
and I think you're doing that the right way by expanding your reach. You automatically are casting a bigger net.
yeah, I do think that multi-streaming really has, changed the perspective of things.
Does it to make it tough for you to plan something that can work across all three platforms because each of them has their own way of doing things?
It can be, but using platforms like Restream really have made it a lot easier in more ways than one.
Mhm. Yeah, I imagine I know that Irium has certainly isn't much different than the other two. With you don't have to you're not able to put up like a game behind you or anything like that. If you're just on Irium alone, it's you and the audience, and it's a one-on-one type of situation. Have you done much
Yeah,
streams like that, and was that tough for you to adapt to?
the biggest toughest thing about Irium is like showcasing the game because I can't really showcase a game on Irium, so it's just like more like a chatting stuff. In fact, we
Hmm.
actually had shout about Cookie join us for the Cookie Buddy Nation, and Uncle, thank you so much. How you doing today? Hope you're doing good. And then as for Speedy Green HST, you're my third. Thank you so much. But yeah, that is the thing about Irium. It's just like being able to like multitask because I'm currently using one monitor for Twitch and YouTube, and then for Irium, I use my phone. So it's like I'm multi streaming across different platforms, you know, here and there and everywhere.
Yeah, the world service of Cookie. That's what you got go here. And just remind folks that we are taping this interview for the Eric Will Interviews YouTube channel, but we're also live at the moment across three different platforms. Thanks to Cookie, we appreciate that. So
Of
everybody
course.
out there who's listening, um, first of all, you picked a good choice to listen to because Cookie's outstanding, and obviously you wouldn't be here. Um, for you and your average stream, what do you like to do on the streams? What is something that is a staple for you?
Good question. So I love mecha tactical and fighting games. I will play those games whenever there is. And every single time, whenever I stream, right, I usually have like different sides. So, for example, on my worksheets, for example, I could show you this one different side that has become a staple in my VTubing community, like whenever I do worksheets. So it looks like this. This is actually a staple on roads in Hawaii. You'll often see this everywhere, especially on the H1. But it looks like this. Well, it doesn't say expect delays anymore. Now it says drive with caution or the dates and the times, and that's pretty much it. But it looks like this. Yeah.
Cool. That's cool. Oh man, it always gets me. I mean, I'm such a I'm an old. First of all, I'm an old guy, and a very much an audio based person. Did some stuff with cable television, that sort of thing, but you can find that on YouTube if you really want to. I don't know why you would. Um, for me, having the video attached to it, whether you're doing it as a live streamer or with an avatar, would add a lot of difficulty for me. Did it ever prove any difficulty for you to see yourself in a model form moving around on the screen?
Sometimes it can be difficult because, like, on a platform like Iria, but I was shipping on Pokéchan too for a while before Pokéchan closed in the U.S. Um, there were times when I can't really like showcase what I'm doing, so I would have to either use like Twitter, like to post up later on, or the Discord stuff. Like when I did like my hand cam sheets like back in the day before I eventually was able to find my webcam and showcase everything. There were times that I couldn't do it, but most of my Ethereum audience, like whenever they're not able to see it, they just go on my Twitch and YouTube stuff, so it's not really like a big deal on my end.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I would have. Was never big on showing myself on anything. I was on a billboard once, and I think I caused 6, 7 accidents. Just by right now because of job or social status or wherever they are. Is that the
Yeah.
case for you? Is yeah?
So in the case when it comes to like presenting myself for me, it depends on like whether to present myself in a context or not. So sometimes on one hand it could be like difficult to present on one side, but on the other side it's like it's not like too bad to be able to like present myself in some way. I don't think it's like
Mm,
that much of a difficulty. It just depends on like whether you where to present yourself in a certain kind of context or not. Some events, it's
yeah.
more some events are more like suitable for one thing than others. Others are like not so much. So it
Mm.
depends on the event
If you
that we're
weren't
doing.
doing this, if you weren't doing this in this field with the events and everything else, would you be able to find a substitute to scratch that itch for you, or has this now become such a big part of your life that it's pretty much irreplaceable?
For me though, Hawaii events are always in person. So whenever I do like a lot of Hawaii event stuff, like for example, I would be able to appear like Hawaii Con or Hawaii Geek Beat. It's always in person. So we basically adapt to like whatever event it is. But usually in Hawaii, our events are so intertwined. Like K-pop and anime culture are like so intertwined with one another that it's not really much of a problem. But on the mainland, it can be a little bit of a difficult statement because the mainland market is a lot bigger. And because the mainland market is a lot bigger compared to Hawaii, it's not so much intertwined per se.
Mm. Right. Right. I really think that in the mainland you've got a lot of different markets, but they don't mix together as much. There's you have regions like you mentioned, but you're not going to have a Pacific Northwest um, culture mixing a lot with Southern Florida. It's just almost two different worlds, and really it's thousands of miles apart. Um,
Hmm.
so doing that sort of thing might be a little rough. Um, and as you said, when you're doing the world thing, global marketing, you've got to start balancing between maybe something is popular in Europe, but it's not so much popular in Asia. So, and you kind of got to pick and choose what you can do based on how many people get involved. That sounds like it would be pretty rough to do.
Yeah, but I feel like with like the VTuber concept, we're able to adapt it to like different audiences. So, for example, in Hawaii, most VTuber fans would prefer like a meet and greet stuff, but on the US mainland, they would probably prefer like a concert. So, somehow, we figure out what the VTuber market is like over there and how can we adapt it to like local taste, depending on the event. So some events will say, okay, maybe we can do like a meet and greet concept. The other times it would be like an official creator concept, or you could have like a karaoke relay session. So that's what we did like for VB to Paradise at Kawaii Con was we did like
Hmm.
the entire like hybrid event this year where it was in person and online. So that's what it was.
You just yawned at an old man. That's illegal in every country.
My apologies.
No, that's perfectly. I'm easy on that, but really, it's. I agree with what you're saying that you have to adapt to what you're doing locally, but sometimes you find yourself agreeing to do something, and it's like 2 days from now, and you don't have enough time to plan.
Yeah, that can be like a difficult thing to do. Cause being an event organizer means you work on such short time, and you have to like make sure that like everything is like planned to a T. So like sometimes I would be like wide awake until like really late the next day, and there would be people that would be telling me at every stream, "Hey, go to bed." Go to bed, Cookie. Why are you up at 3 a.m. in the morning? Go to bed.
Yeah, yeah. You get that. I get that because it's usually from my wife though.
I have
Start Go
friends
to
that
bed
do
at
that.
4 in the morning. Yeah,
I have friends that do that. I have a very close VTuber friend of mine that does that. Like whenever I would watch my friends stream at like 3 a.m. in the morning because like their stream is scheduled at like 3 a.m. in Hawaii time, and then it's like
yeah.
afternoon in like their time zone. They would say, "You should be sleeping." Hello. So yeah, but he's a good friend. He's a good friend of mine. We've been friends for like almost like 5 years actually. So yeah.
Isn't that crazy how long you've been able to be active and keep relationships like that going over the internet?
I feel like it's a lot rarer nowadays, especially in the VTuber world and the creator world.
Mm. Yeah. Is it you think it's because there's so many VTubers now, or are people just kind of aiming for the business side more often?
I think it's a little bit of both. Number one, the VTubing industry has become overly saturated, and everybody is basically competing for like the top spots, basically. So when you're basically competing for the top spots and you have a market that's oversaturated, that's why I'm not really considered a global VTuber anymore. I'm more of a regional VTuber because the regional side of things is slightly more niche. Um,
Right.
everyone will just try to do whatever they can to get to the top, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes, relationships, are just usually seen as not as much of a priority as like growth and fame basically. Sad. It is really sad though when that happens.
I could see it happening, but when you're talking, I'm looking at it from a radio point of view, I guess, and it's arcane, I guess. But when I was at the radio station, we were competing against other radio stations for a finite audience. We knew exactly how many people everybody was broadcasting. We were dividing up the pie, so we would try to take audience from somebody else. But for VTubers, especially right now, there isn't a limit really as to how many viewers you can get because
Yeah,
they
that's
don't know how
true.
many are out there. I mean, the potential is 95% of the world. Now, if anybody does that, then the internet's going to explode. But there's so many people out there. The limit has not even come close to be reached of people who would enjoy watching and some about being a part of this. Um, People my age haven't even gotten started yet. Wait till we get in there and ruin it for you young folks. Um, it's it's so there's no reason really to try and out market somebody else. Because you just build your own audience. Don't worry about somebody else's audience. There's no reason for that type of competition. Friendly competition, okay, but cutthroat competition. There's no reason for it right now.
I feel like, in my opinion, friendly competition is perfectly normal. But when it
Mhm.
comes to like the cutthroat competition, like throwing people under the bus just so that you can get fame and popularity, that's in Hawaii. That's just like unheard of and like something that you look down upon because in Hawaii we have a concept called aloha, and that basically means that
Mhm.
we treat other people like family, basically. So many of
Mhm.
my relationships in the VTubing scene, I've had friends, for years and years on end. It's all about communication and treating people with aloha because that's just our culture over here in Hawaii. We look out for each other. We're there for each other. Family is everything.
Right.
Loyalty is
Right.
our
And
currency.
yeah, and that's a great way to live, really, with everything. But when you get into a business like when you're like a finite audience, there's the rules are different. I mean, you're a company going for that. You're just not going to be able to get in the way or change that sort of thing. But when everything is so open and there's still so many, do you want to steal somebody else's land when there's so much land nobody has gotten to yet? Um, there's too much unexplored area to worry about what's there now. Bring more people in to VTubing. bring show your friends. Say, hey, you might probably enjoy this VTuber. Um, you like this type of games. This person plays them all the time. You like goofy things. This person's goofy. You like cookies. Here's Cookie. That sort of thing.
Yeah, that's the
So
mindset that I live by. I don't like the excessive amount of cutthroat competition. I much rather would create a community where we could all unite on one mission to bring VTubers from Hawaii to the world rather than just cutthroating each other in competition. But that's just how I see things. I don't like
yeah,
the excessive amount of cutthroat competition because I would say that cutthroat competition hurts business more than helps business in the long run. It's gonna hurt
oh
business.
yeah, yeah. People in general aren't coming to spend their time with VTubers to see them, cut each other down. There's some people who like the drama, and good luck to them. But they're there to relax and have it on in the background or get involved in the them doing the games or that sort of thing. Again, it's knowing your audience and what they want. If you get trolls, if you're a person who's just on to be a troll, you're gonna have trolls in your audience, and they'll be as loyal as a troll is, which is none. There's no loyalty for trolls. If you build an audience with a good foundation, like you've done here, um, people will be able to be more comfortable with it, and you can rely on them as much as they rely on you.
Yeah. I feel like in my opinion, with the VTubing stuff, I want like more positivity instead of
Mm.
negativity. But I see so much negative stuff being promoted like in the VTubing scene and I want to bring more positivity. I want to make Hawaii VTubing mainstream, and I want Hawaii to get the same amount of opportunities as what you would get in the UK, what you would get in the mainland US or Australia, or pretty much anywhere in the world. I want
Yeah,
Hawaii to not feel left behind in the VTubing scene. I want Hawaii VTuber fans to realize that they can be a VTuber fan in Hawaii and see their Oshis without having to spend like a fortune. And that's why I do
oh yeah,
this because I
yeah,
want Hawaii to succeed in the VTuber market, just like how the United Kingdom, for example, they have a massive growing VTuber market in more recent years. There's more VTuber conventions over there, VTuber events. There's an increased rise of VTubers in the UK. And,
yeah,
cafes, for example. That's what I want for Hawaii. And that's why I'm working very tirelessly to make that possible. If the mainland US
yeah,
can have it, if the United Kingdom can have it, if Japan can have it, then Hawaii should be able to have it too. Hawaii VTuber fans
absolutely.
should not have to feel like they're priced out of paradise just because they love VTubers. They should be able to enjoy their VTuber hobbies. And that's why I
Yeah,
work tirelessly to bring VTubers from Hawaii to the world. Sure, it is not
absolutely.
cheap, to bring these VTubers over, financial wise and physical wise. It's a big price to pay, but
Right.
the smiles and the effort that we and the support that we get is priceless. So when it comes to like the support that I get, usually like money is the last thing on my mind that I think about because I care about making sure that the Hawaii VTuber fans get the exact same experience as those on the mainland or the UK, if that makes sense.
It absolutely does make sense, and Cookie, you're doing a great job at it.
I'm trying my best.
Well, the folks who are listening right now and are listening on the replay, they know exactly what you're all about, and I'm glad I've been able to find out a little bit too during this interview. I'm so glad to be able to talk with you, and I hope for one day I could set foot on those wonderful islands someday. Um, but again, I might be priced out of paradise myself. That's right.
No, I
But
appreciate you supporting the Hawaii VTuber scene. Thank you. So the best
absolutely,
advice that I would recommend if you want to support your Oshis is lurking. Clipping, making fan art of them, stopping by saying hello, interacting with them on like Twitter, for example. That's the
yeah,
best way to support it. And the best part, when it comes to like lurking, stopping by, saying hello, is free. Donations, subscriptions, money, that's always optional.
yep,
Always, always optional.
yeah,
Lurking,
and
stopping by, saying hello, that's priceless. That's free.
Yeah, and sometimes I lurk with my wife, but she just kind of throw things at me. I can do this on with VTubers, and you guys don't throw things at me, so I appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on board. And yeah, I hope you can stop by one of my streams someday and learn about, the Hawaii VTuber stuff. I'm always willing to teach people about like the Hawaii VTuber stuff. So if you ever do want to learn, please do not hesitate to reach out. If you wanna if you are a VTuber that wants to come to Hawaii, that wants to enter the Hawaii market, let's work together. I'm always willing to.
And with that, our portion of the interview is done. Wonderful, wonderful. As good as I expected it from you. And folks, you've got a hell of a host here. So I don't have to tell you that because you keep coming back for more. And this is a person who's putting their heart and soul in what they do, and you can hear it from how they speak about it. That
Thank you
is
so much.
always somebody. That's always somebody that you could want to get behind. Um, and I'm sure that I'm sure Cookie, you feel it when you do get folks behind you, putting a hand here and there and helping out with what you're doing. Because
I
you're
appreciate
one of the
that.
you're one of the hardest workers I know on this thing. You're all over the place working to get this stuff done. Um, and I hope that it just continues for you, and you continue to promote not just the Hawaii scene, but yours as well, because you're one of those beacons that we need in the VTuber community. And
Thank you so
sure,
much.
you take care of yourself, and we'll have this for everybody. The interview will be up on Eric Will Interviews in a little bit, along with a very poorly done thumbnail by myself.
No, it's all good.
All the
If you need anything, Eric Lloyd, I'm always down to help. So let me know, like, if you need anything. Don't hesitate to like reach out. Like, if you want to do collabs with me, or like you ever want to like learn about the Hawaii VTuber scene, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm always down. I'm always down. Just let me know.
I've always got plans, but I'm always too lazy to do them.
It's all good. No worries. But I appreciate you,
Okay, well,
interviewing me. And thank you for stopping by the Cookie Nation. And thank you for stopping by the High VTuber Expo HQ. I appreciate it. It really means a lot.
absolutely, folks. You have a great whatever time of day it is that you are, and Cookie, all the best to you. We'll talk again soon.
Yes, we'll talk again soon. Thank you again, Eric Loy. You take
Bye bye now.
care. Bye bye. But yeah, that was Eric Loy, everyone. Thank you so much again. Can we get a round of applause for Eric Loy, guys? Thank you. By the way, huge shout out to Eric Loy, by the way, for all the hard work that he's been doing to help bring more attention to the VTubers in the scene. I really feel like that Eric Loy is such a positive person that really wants to bring attention to the VTuber scene, So it really, really does mean a lot. It really, really does. I'm gonna go stretch and hydrate, and then after this, we're gonna talk about Buriedcandy'S The Calling. And then I'm gonna redirect you guys to Abewa Takahashi after this. So, hold on. Okay, I'm hydrated, buddy. Sorry about that. Okay. With that being said, guys, I want to talk about Buriedcandy'S The Calling, because there's a lot of things that we're going to talk about when it comes to this game. Now, unfortunately, because my PC currently cannot handle multi-streaming and streaming The Calling at the same time, what we're going to do is just talk about Buriedcandy'S The Calling for a little bit. And then I'm going to redirect you guys to Amewa Takahashi, who's currently on group chat, and he is also on Forza Horizon at the same time. So, yeah. So, yeah. Let's talk about Buried Caddies to Calling. So if you guys want to see what we're gonna learn about right now. Alright. So let's talk about this. Because I want to present to you guys of what we're talking about. So, hold on. Alright. With that being said, guys, right now, it is time for us to talk about Buriedcandy'S The Calling. It is time for us to learn more about this FPS game. Because the thing is, Cookie Nation, as we all know, Buriedcandy'S The Calling is heading to GameCon Canada. So we're gonna learn more about it. Alright, but first and foremost, let's watch the trailer. Also, thank you so much, Little Bit and Stargazer, too, for stopping by. And Edo, thank you so much.
Uh-oh. Hey, come on, we got things to do. Slow down.
That's me!
Don't look at Mona yet! We gotta move. Harry's in class. Boom. I'm on my way.
Hey, Cat!
Here we go.
It's over!
Oh. Oh, come on!
Okay, so that was Buriedcandy'S The Calling. So, we're gonna learn more about this game today. Alright, let's talk about this game. So, today, right after we just had the interview, we are going to talk about Buriedcandy'S The Calling, a VTuber FPS game created by Buriedcandy. I do gotta submit some work for Buriedcandy'S The Calling before I end this stream, so I will have to get this all like submitted and everything like that. So hold on. Let me get that all taken care of. Just really quick. Wait. Wait. Hold on, guys. I wanted to work on like the audio stuff a bit. And then after I work on the audio stuff, I cannot show you guys what I'm working on, unfortunately. So, yeah, I cannot show you guys. But it does say over here that I need to verify some stuff. So that's important. I don't know why. I don't know why it has the what is it? What is it? Like the Oh wait, hold on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold the phone, hold the phone. Okay. I gotta send this because it is due pretty soon. I feel like if I could get this done really quick, then because it is due before like 2 p.m. Hawaii time, so I'm trying to like stay in tune with the deadline, so that is what it is here. Also, thank you so much, by the way. Huge shout out to Uncle as well for coming in, and then Speedy coming in as well, a little bit as well. Thank you for coming into the interview. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the interview, so I hope you guys enjoyed the interview process. I'm very glad that I got interviewed, so I am just super, super happy. But I will need to mute the desktop audio for a little bit, so let me get this done just really quick. Wait. Hold on. Okay. Hold on, hold on. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I cannot show you guys this yet. This is kind of like an important stuff. I have to turn this in. So, hold on. I'm gonna save this one, and then after I save this one, I'll send this over. How am I doing? I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I am doing alright. Neat, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm just happy that I'm able to, talk about this kind of stuff with everybody. And, I'm glad I get to bring VTubers from Hawaii to the world. It's just, a really awesome opportunity. Has the internet been spotty today? Yeah, it's been pretty spotty because yesterday it was like a flash flood warning. And then the power went out yesterday. And then for now, the internet seems to be holding up pretty well. But yeah, it's been like a power outage stuff. So if the stream does pause again one more time, I'm just gonna redirect you guys to Amewa Takahashi at this rate. With the stream stuff. So that's what it is too. Right, hold on, hold on. Okay, hold on, hold on. Yeah. I don't know why like the internet's been acting up today. I know yesterday there was like a power outage. Okay. And then let's move this one over here that I'm gonna rename it as the colleague updated lines. And then I'll just make like a zip file and then that'll be pretty much it. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I have to take care of something quite important. Okay. Sorry, guys. I have to take care of something very important because this one is due, like, at 2 p.m. Hawaii time, and I have to get this turned in very, very soon. So it's kind of important that I get this turned in while the power is still going on over here. And that way, like, in case of another power outage, like, comes out again. So I just want to make sure. Was the weather bad yesterday? It was. Like, yesterday, like, there was, like, a storm. Like, an unexpected storm that happened. So, that's, like, the thing, too, right? So, that is the thing. Okay. Here we go. I sent that over. Okay. Then I'll exit over here. Okay. So, now that's all the way. Let's talk about Buriedcandy'S the calling. Up to Scorner, hello! Welcome in, you're just in time. So, we just did an interview not too long ago with Eric Lloyd. Shout out to Eric Lloyd, by the way, for inviting us to be interviewed, right? Papa? Yeah, shout out to Eric Lloyd. I'm really glad that I could talk about, like, Hawaii VTuber stuff, too. So, you know, huge shout out, too. Yeah. That is the thing, too. Yeah. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I am feeling better. I'm feeling a lot better. Hi, Dixie. Welcome in. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. I'm Cooky Usagida. Hi, VTuber. Reflection. Take funny meetings. Working talents in a big VTuber from Hawaii to the world. Nice to meet you. So, we just did an interview just now, so I'm super sorry that I wasn't able to see everybody's chat messages earlier. We were in a collab stream earlier. Also, by the way, that's Torres and just buried it. Thank you so much for becoming a cookie buddy. That's Torres. That's Torres. Come on. Thank you. Yeah, I know that's from Taka's channel. So, thank you for the follow. So, with that being said, no, we're gonna talk about what this is all about for the GCC. So, let's talk about it. I think I'm gonna keep the stream until like about 2 hours or so because of the time zone stuff. Not because of the time zone stuff, but because of like the weather right now. Like yesterday, it was like a power outage that happened, and then today, you know, there could be like a possibility that like, you know, that like the weather could get bad. So that's what it is. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about GCC because there's a lot of things that I have to talk about. Since we only have about not one day left, a couple days left. So let's talk about this because this is kind of important. So, to talk about Buriedcandy'S the calling, right? And what it is, we're gonna first look at this one. Just make sure to have the canoe ready. How's it, Cup Rock? How's it? Hey, how's it? Like I say, I wouldn't live on high ground, so I good, cuz. I good, brah. No, I good, cuz I live on high ground. I live on high ground, so no need for worry, cuz. You know, the kind thing is, I wouldn't worry about one phone. You know, one phone get no more kind battery. Cause no more kind charge, no more kind charge. That's that, cuz. But yes, we're gonna talk anyway about this one. DCC, the All Access Pass giveaway. And why we are talking about Buriedcandy'S Calling? Why are we talking about this game today? Why are we talking about Buriedcandy'S Calling? And no, I do not mean admitted. I know how I have been calling the bidden. Which, by the way, it is not the bidden. It's not the bidden. It's the calling, not the midden. So, yeah. Hi, Coco. Welcome in. Sorry I wasn't able to read the chat earlier. Hi, Salab. Sorry I wasn't able to read all the chat messages earlier. I was in an interview stream earlier, a collab. But shout out Cooky. Thank you for the follow as well. I appreciate it. And yeah. Thank you for tuning in to the stream the collab earlier I did with Eric Loy. So that was awesome, Sauce. That was so awesome. I hope you guys all enjoyed the podcast. Hope you guys all did. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. But we are talking about Buriedcandy'S Calling just a little bit. In case if the weather gets bad and there could be a possibility that the power could go out again, which is unlikely, but you never know. You never know with the weather and all that. So yeah. Who am I gonna redirect? I'm on Takahashi. I already will be redirecting you guys into Taka's stream after this. Yeah. The internet so far has been like a mixed bag. Like on one end, right? The internet is in the green for like a couple moments, but then on the other end, right? It's also at the same time like in like the red stuff. So it's like a mixture. But I'm doing the best I can, with everything going on to keep the stream going. So yeah. But regardless, I'm here. I'm here on stream. I'm interacting with my community. I'm interacting on my chat, and that's all that matters, right? I'm here. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. But yeah. So, today, we are talking about Buriedcandy'S Calling. And why are we talking about Buriedcandy'S Calling today? It's because we are going virtually to GameCon Canada. And because we're going to GameCon Canada, there's a lot of things that I gotta talk about. Well, there are some things that I cannot disclose to you guys just yet. We cannot disclose it. Just yet. But we can talk about some stuff. So, that is what it is too. So, we can disclose some things, but we can't disclose a lot of things. So, yeah. The first thing we're going to talk about is, you guys saw the trailer earlier for Buriedcandy'S Calling. So, Buriedcandy'S Calling is a VTuber FPS game. So it features over 90 plus VTubers, including yours truly, the least chaotic Big Buddy Mage, by the way. Not the most chaotic! I'm the least chaotic! Not the most! So, yeah. But yeah, for those of you guys that are also experiencing, possible power outages too, please stay safe as well. I know, the weather has been pretty much of, a mixed bag. It's been crazy. This year, this was, our 4th flash flood warning, and it is, very, very serious out there. So, please do be prepared and stay safe as well. How am I doing so far? I'm doing awesome. I'm doing awesome. I'm doing great, despite the weather and all that, we're doing the best we can. We are streaming. We're working tirelessly, We're keeping the stream going, and that's all that matters, We are trying. We're present. We're here. We're working tirelessly, and that's all there is to it. So, that's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is, too. VTubers, including yours truly. And if you guys are wondering about Buriedcandy'S The Calling, we also have our own IMDb page. So, I'm gonna show you guys the screen. So you guys can see like how it is. So if you guys want to look up Buriedcandy'S The Calling for you guys then, you guys can follow along. But if you want to learn more about Buriedcandy'S The Calling and you can learn more about us, you can go to imdb.com. And then from then on out, you're gonna search for The Calling. No. The video game. Right? And you're gonna go to here. And then from here, you can see a lot of the cast members of The Calling. And you get to see all the VTubers that are present. So these are all the VTubers that are present in The Calling. I do gotta work on my page later on, so that is the thing too. You guys can see my page over here. And this is my page for The Calling. This is my page. So, I am considered as an actress to The Calling on IMDb. I am gonna edit my IMDb page later on because I do have a lot going on my plate right now with planning images by command and all that. So I'm gonna update that. So huge shout out to Buriedcandy and his crew for setting it all up. But if you want to check out my IMDb page, it is over here. You can check it out right over here. But yeah, that is what it looks like. So, yeah. And then another thing too, and I want to go over this with my community. I want to go over this with everybody. Is how do you win this giveaway? Because there is a lot of people who have been asking me about what GameCon Canada is. And, you know, to answer the question, it is Canada's largest gaming convention. But it's not just that. It's also like a giveaway opportunity to be able to be part of GameCon Canada. And you guys could easily enter in with only 5 hours left to go. Now, unfortunately, though, it's going to be closing up later on. But if you want to learn and figure out how to enter in, you can check out this entry right over here. So, all you gotta do is go on this Gleam page right over here. That's gleam.io. And you can see my official page. And then from then on out, you can click on this Gleam page. And you have to do all these things. All these things. So, you will need to log in, yes, using any of these pages. So, I'm gonna cover this and log in with my Twitch. Because it does contain personal information. And this is what you do. You have to go follow these pages over here. And enter in. From then on out, each entry is worth 1 entry on Gleam.io. If you follow Cooky Usagida on Twitch, for example, you get 1 entry. You follow GameCon Canada on Twitch, you get 1 entry. You follow me, you get 1 entry. And you follow all of it, repost, spread the word. Bam, that's 1 entry. So, if you do ever want to participate in our Gleam.io giveaway, it is only 5 hours left on the calendar, unfortunately. But I have been spreading the word about it quite a lot lately on social media. I have been doing the best I can to spread the word. And I got a lot of, support too from, the community. So I really, really do appreciate it. Also, huge shout out to VTuber News Shop as well for also spreading the word about this. VTuber News Shop is the GOAT. The greatest of all time, indeed. Go check out VTuber News Shop. They're awesome. So, if you do want to check out everything else, you can also check out right over here. All these entries. Essentially, if you are asking, Cookie, what is GameCon Canada? Well, I'll show you guys what GameCon Canada is. And we're gonna learn more about that right now. So, it's Canada's largest gaming expo. It is. I want to show you guys a video that talks about GameCon Canada. I cannot say much about GameCon Canada. There are some things that are still in the works. But, there are promo videos that I can't show you. Because this is public on their page. So, with that being said, we're gonna sit back, relax, and enjoy GameCon Canada for a little bit. Fortunately, is that thunderstorms? Wait, let me check the weather. Does that mean that thunderstorms might be coming? It looks like it's raining over here right now. Hold on. Yeah, I hear rain and stuff. So, with that being said, let's play this video. But yeah, that's GameCon Canada, guys. This is what we'll virtually be heading to. And we're gonna be virtually heading there. You know, Cookie Nation, if we could bring a gaming convention to Hawaii, that would be awesome. Woo! GameCon Canada! Let's go! Bring your A game. Yeah. You know, actually, Cookie Nation, I thought of an idea. What if we brought a VTuber or a gaming convention to Hawaii? That would be an excellent idea. I heard that Hawaii is escaping like a H&L fandom one, but I would love to see a video gaming convention in Hawaii. You know, it would be like such a good idea, right? It would be. It would be. It would be. You know? Yeah, the thunderstorms now all went out islands. Yeah! Our power went out yesterday. Oh, thank you so much! Eh! Who's making me on stream right now? Eh! Who is making me on stream right now? Okay. Abyss is making me end my stream. Hey Abyss, welcome to the stream. And he ended my stream. So now it looks like Cookie Nation that because Abyss ended my stream, since wait, are the thunderstorms still over the islands? Yeah. Hippity hoppity, you after redeeming, gotta obey to redeem! I gotta obey to redeem! Okay. I'm gonna have to redirect you guys to Taka's channel then. Wow. So actually, Coprock, there's a redeem where people can end my stream. So, what Abyss just did, right? It's ended my stream! My own moderator is telling me to end my stream! So, now I have to redirect you guys to Taka. Just because of Abyss. Yes, guys, I am redirecting you guys to Taka's channel. All because of Abyss. So, don't worry, Abyss, I don't work too much, I promise. So, anyways, Abyssal. Now I have to go to Taka's channel, all because Abyss ended my stream. But yeah, I think it is time though, because at the same time, the bug hammer? What a bug hammer though! Abyss told me that he is bug proof. Abyss told me that he is bug proof. My mod is bug proof. That's the thing about that. That is the thing, you know? My mod is bug proof, at least according to Abyss. Have to raid out. Okay. You can't balk the bunker. The thing is, my mods are very good at telling me to go to bed. Like, Abyss and my mod team, like, they will tell me, Cookie, go to bed. Or something like that. My mods, not the first time, and definitely not the last either, Abyssal. Definitely not the last either. Yeah, that's how much of a good relationship my moms and I have as friends. They just know Cooky Usagida is a workaholic. Time to put Cooky Usagida to bed by making her end her live stream. So, therefore now, I have to go to Abu Takahashi's channel. All because Abyssal said so. Wait, Abyss. Do you have anyone in mind that we should raid? Since you were the one that suggested a raid redeem? Papa is wondering who we should raid. But at the same time, there's so much stuff to talk about, like GameCon Canada. I was in the middle of GameCon Canada talking to the business, like, full raid. So. Okay, Abyss. Suggest me someone to raid. Wait, where we're going? Okay. I'll raid Taka. I will raid Taka. I will redirect you guys to the Flame Voice channel. Alright? I'll redirect you guys to Flame Voice channel. Okay. But yes. I might have to have my shade though because like unfortunately my OBS is acting kind of strange with the red and the green like internet stuff. Oh wait. It's like green for now though. Okay. For reals, I am gonna redirect you guys to Taka. So but I have to go over my schedule. Oh wait! I can't raid you guys to Taka just yet. I have to go over my schedule. We can't leave yet without my schedule being addressed. Which is, by the way, the elephant in the room. My schedule. Because I always gotta remind myself that the schedule is important to talk about with fans and audiences. Also, welcome in. Nogoto. How you good? Hope you're doing good. I'm Cooky Usagida. Hi, VTuber. This is a chaotic peak but a mage. Drinking ties and a big VTuber of wide to the world. And I have just been reminded by Abyssal Hayashi that I have to redirect you guys to Abula Takahashi. All because of the redeem. But yes, for the next stream happening tomorrow at 1 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time, we are redirecting you guys to Gundam Next Plus. And the game card calendar giveaway will be happening, ending in 5 hours from now. But, in all seriousness, thanks to Abyssal Hayashi, the stream is over. So yes, with that being said, I'm redirecting you guys to Taka's channel. And Otsuki. I'll be seeing you guys all tomorrow for Gundam. I'm super sorry that I have to cut my stream short today. Yeah, there's the redeem, and then now, as Coprock just told me, the thunderstorms. You guys want to talk more about the calling tomorrow during Gundam, right, Pompon? Pompon! Okay. Pompon, you want to talk more about Gundam? Let's talk more about the calling tomorrow. Alright, please stay safe, everybody, and Otsu Cookie for now.